Hello and welcome to my update of my top 25 Lol Esports power rankings, where I'm going to rank the top teams in Lol Esports. I watch all major region games. This video will be a little quicker because there were, 11 days or so of games that I had to catch up on. So we're just going to kind of run through this. Up here you see a top 25. That's not mine. That's the Discord's. If you'd like to participate in the power rankings on the Discord, those threads will be up when I figure out which day I want to do my next video for power rankings, and you can then participate. So they also voted from most points to least points in voting out of the top 25. Vitality, Fear X, Thunder Talk, GAM Esports, Team Secret, Team Wales, LGD, SK, Frank Esports, Nongshim, NRG. All those teams received at least one vote out of the 10 participants, but did not make the top 25. Out of those 10 participants, roughly 31% represent themselves as LPL fans, 28 LCK, 26 LCS, 13% LEC, and about 3% minor region fans. If you join my Discord, you go under the Rules and Roles channel when you arrive, and you can pick which region you support, and then that gives us a better idea of who you are rooting for. Now, my top 25. So, 25th place is GAM Esports from Vietnam. So I'm not going to drop them out yet. They had a rough week, to say the very least. Beat Team Flash and Vikings Esport. Viking Esport, formerly known as Saigon Buffalo, so they're the team with Shogun. But lost to MBE and Cerberus. So should not be losing those series to those teams. GAM are usually much more dominant than they've been performing this past week, and they do have new pieces that we have to see at the international stage in mid and AD carry. But with Levi on that team and Kiea in top lane, it's really hard to just not put them in the top 25 to begin with. So they are 25th. 24th for me, new to the top 25. By the way, the three teams not in my top 25 that were last time: KDF, Mad Lions Koi, and CFO Flying Oyster. One of those three newcomers, 100 Thieves. So, 100T went 4-1 this past 2 weeks. Beat Dignitas, Immortals, Shopify Rebellion, NRG. Those four teams are the four worst teams in the LCS. Lost to FlyQuest. So clearly still only in the upper half, but not really separating themselves. Before the season started, I had 100 Thieves in my Worlds predictions, my two early Worlds predictions, and had NRG out. A lot of people did not like that, but 100T have been fun. They're in part on here because they literally picked a Shaco jungle this past weekend. River getting creative. Quid getting better. Sniper, a young player. Bot lane, very young with Meech in terms of experience at this level. Frankly, they're one of those teams that are going to be scary because they don't know. It could go one of two ways, big moments, right? They could either falter or there's no pressure. They're just playing free. Nobody really expects anything out of them. 100T are a fun team to watch, and it's very different than the last couple of years where they were one of the teams you really didn't want to watch because they were so boring. 23rd, Team Secret from Vietnam. So they went 3-1. Move up one spot, beat Cerberus, Rainbow Warriors. What do we got? Team Wales. Team Wales is a real team. Artemis, Glory, BA. That's the team that went to Worlds last year and almost got to the main event, and lost to MBE Esports. So, Team Secret, definitely competitive with GAM right now. A young team as well. I believe jungle and mid are extremely inexperienced. This might be their rookie years or essentially that. So, another situation where we have a young team that's performing at a high level and deserves some respect. 22nd, PSG, moving up one spot. Beat Beyond Gaming and CFO. So two teams that you would consider to be the next two teams in the PCS below them. Frank Esports, once again, faltering in the playoffs. Who would have been surprised? Who is surprised by that? So PSG separating themselves again. Obviously, Junji and Maple and the squad. CFO is a team, though, that I had, like I said, out of my top 25. They, just like this, are in this group of, oh, no, they're here for these guys. In that range of no farther than probably 28th if I really wanted to extend it. CFO have really good players, so for PSG to beat them, that is no easy task. In terms of the Discord, I believe what? So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. 5 of the voters had PSG, 6 had KDF CFO, 7 had Weibo of the 10, even in their top 25 at all. So that's just a thing to note. That's why the lines are there. Next, Vitality. New to the top 25, making their return. Went 2-1 this past weekend. Beat Heretics, who also looked good at times. Beat BDS, who a lot of people have high hopes for after their good run last year and their winter split. And lost SK today. Now, Photon played Smolder top lane. That is a bold strategy, to put it lightly. So I'm going to pretend like that game didn't really happen because of that. And, we'll see how Vitality does next week. Because when you do something crazy like that, it's like, okay, we're scrimming on stage right now, and SK punished you for it. So 21st, and we all know Vitality with Vetio, Karzi, and Hilly, especially Karzi Hilly. That bot lane could either win or lose depending on how the coin falls at the time. 20th, FlyQuest dropping 4 spots. Dropping 4 spots, beat 100 Thieves, NRG, Dignitas. 3 wins I expect them to get at this point. Lost to C9 and Team Liquid. I predicted them beat C9. I thought they would at that time, and I thought they might have, I think I may even predict them beat Team Liquid, and they didn't. That bot duo needs to continue to get better, Masu and Busio. But the top side of the rift, and Jensen should be solid mid. That team is still a solid team. I would still take it over the teams below them. It's just a matter of putting it together against decent competition. 19th, we have Fnatic back in the top 25. Beat Rogue, KC, lost to Heretics. So like I said, Heretics had some nice moments this past weekend. They were in that other group that I would say alongside CFO that just barely missed my top 25. But Fnatic have really good players, and they'll put it together once again and be a force to be reckoned with. Excuse me. Beating Rogue and KC, though, those are 2 easy wins that they should get, because those 2 were the 2 teams out of playoffs in winter, right? So couldn't have an easier start than Fanatics. 18th, C9 moving up 7 spots. So they couldn't be perfect, They couldn't go 5-0. Could not go 5-0. Had to lose to Immortals, but they beat the competition, right? So they beat FlyQuest, TL. Outside of 100 Thieves, those 2 are the next best teams, right? So, showing supremacy. Beat Dignitas, beat Shopify, and, like I said, just couldn't get past Immortals. C9, boring as hell to watch. They're playing very slow and methodical because they are afraid, which is unfortunate because you'd think that they would be a little more active. So that style of play going international is not fun at all. Not very good at all. Just not something I even really want to think about when it comes to LCS and just setting themselves up for failure. 17th, LNG moving up 2 spots. So LNG changed coaches. They have you now as their coach, is the rumor. And Crescent is no longer. Now, LNG beat RNG up and lost to LGD. So they aren't perfect, but if this just happened in the last couple days, maybe LNG performs better. I know somebody in the Discord has suggested that there are rumors that they're doing well in scrims now. It was only a matter of time before LNG got better. I did a video about it yesterday, in that, LNG's roster is too good to be this way. And we've seen historically a couple teams that really struggled early on in spring and turned it around in 2020 Suning. which I think that team may have not had as high of hopes at the time. But regardless, them, LGD in 2020, and even BLG last year. BLG were 6-5, and they swapped out coaches, of course, at the time. And LNG are 4-7. But BLG were able to find a way, and obviously not many people remember how poorly BLG were playing last spring before that coaching change. So are LNG going to be BLG? Not necessarily, probably not, because BLG were literally one of the best teams after that in the world. But LNG are definitely not dead, if you will. But if you haven't watched that video that I did yesterday, it's on the channel. 16th, the biggest fall, Ninja in Pajamas. So I don't know if somebody is sick. That something's wrong here. Down 11 spots. Like, I had them 5th. I was like, this team, it's playing the LCK style game and this and that. But lost to FPX, anyone's legend, and well, Weibo's got good players, but lost to FPX, anyone's legend. And before we're done here, FPX, the Milky Way train is not being stopped, and the ugly loss is anyone's legend by Nip. Nip, that's unacceptable. So 0-3 for a team with rookie Fodic, who I think is a pretty good player, and Shanji and top lane, like they have 3 pretty damn good players. So to lose to FPX, who frankly, in my opinion, doesn't have anybody at that tier on their team, is something. 15th, Weibo. So, Weibo went 1-3. That win against Nip. That's the only reason why they're above Nip. Lost anyone's legend, FPX and Team Wii. Another team with great players, formerly at least great, was Xiaohu, and then they have Light, and formerly you could say Crisp, but Light's still a good player. This team should be better than it is. But it's not in the LPL. There's a bunch of these teams that are going to be in this area that literally, depending on the day, can beat each other. And I thought Nip were not part of that group, but this week proved no, they are literally in that group. 14th, anyone's legend. I can't believe the team with Harry and Krako is above the team with Shanjiaki. Color me surprised. So, anyone's legend beat Weibo and Nip. Lost to lost to Rare Adam. 2-1. I mean, Rare Adam are not very good. So, for anyone's legend to lose like that, not great. I would have maybe even moved them up farther if it wasn't the case that they had lost to Rare Adam. I think originally I actually had them maybe in 11th or 12th. And lost to IG, which is clearly separating themselves. IG is clearly better than AL. 13th, OMG. And you're going to notice here, there are a lot of LPL teams in a row. And like I said, I don't know what I'm getting out of these teams every day. I don't know. I simply don't know. So, OMG beat EDG, beat LGD. So beat 2 teams they should beat. So they move up 1 spot. Originally, I dropped them quite a bit, but you're 7-4, like quietly 7-4. Lost to Top and JDG, similar to how I just talked about anyone's legend. They're not at that level, but they're at the upper half of these teams. At least we'd like to think so. What we get tomorrow, who knows, out of these guys. I think Nip and IG, LNG play, and then Nip play somebody. 12th, Team Wii, down 2 spots. And maybe they shouldn't have dropped at all. I think there's an argument to be made there. Beat RNG, beat Weibo. Lost to BLG JDG. I expect them to lose to BLG JDG. But Team Wii's bot duo, like now they have Prince back in the lineup. Like, I want some stability there. I got to see more of Hang. But, I mean, there are decent players. Fofo, very underrated. Wayward, performing like he did a couple years ago. Like, I mean, 12th through 17th, I think you could put in pretty much any order in the LPL and probably be wrong about it the next day after they play. 11th, KT. KT beat Fearx and Nongshim, 2 wins they should have. Lost to gen.g, kind of expected, even though I think they beat gen.g already once, if I recall. But lost to DK, so DK clearly separating themselves from KT at the moment. So KT will be 11th. Great players, of course. Perfect in top lane has had his moments where he's shined, and then some moments where he didn't. So, just growing, getting better as the games go on here. KT were 11th, 10th, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, just want to make sure my board that I'm reading is still going strong. G2 10th. So, they went 3-0. They went 3-0. How do you really punish somebody for going 3-0 and 3-0ing their finals and this and that in the third, or what? No, 3-1 in the finals. Beat BDS, Mad Lions, Koi, KC. So they beat the 2 best teams from winner. G2 continue to be the best team in the LEC. Who would have thunk it? So 10th place for G2. Pretty self-explanatory. This game against KC was not great, so -1 for them. But at the same time, they're the cream of the crop once again in the West. 9th, IG, down 1 spot. I guess I just don't trust IG a lot when it comes to putting them in this column. This column I just feel a little better about. So EDG, Anyone's Legend. Anyone's Legend, real win, like I said, separates themselves. But Top Esports, still better than IG. And beat EDG, which is a series they should have. But I think they've won 2-1. So with that in mind, 9th place for IG. 8th place, DK. Up 3 spots. Excuse me. So, up 3 spots. Went 4-0. LCK team goes 4-0. Clearly is upper tier of the region. Beat Brion, Nongshim, Fearx, KT. So KT is the real win there. Other 3, Fearx have played pretty decent at times this year. But Nongshim and Bro are definitely 2 series that they should have had with ease. Showmaker just had a penta. He might be back and feeling himself, in which case, DK are not a team to sleep on. There are good players in all 5 roles on that team, and Lucid, as long as he gets more confidence, will be a tough opponent. 7th, dropping 3 spots, JDG. So, they started sheer against Ultra Prime. Oh, sorry, they've played a lot the last 2 weeks here. So, beat Team Wii, beat Thundercock, beat OMG, Ultra Prime, RNG. Lost to FPX today. So, 5 wins they should have. And I can't believe, the LPL can't help themselves, of course. They have to make Sheer Rookie of the Week last week when he played against, Ultra Prime. And, was sheltered otherwise. So, I thought that was kind of cringe, to be honest, when you have a guy like Milky Way Milky Way should be Rookie of the Year already. But regardless, JDG beat all the teams they should beat, lost to a team that they should beat. 5-1, 6 series is a lot in 2 weeks. You're not going to find, actually nobody else has that many series on my board. So they are the elite team that was probably spread pretty thin, and if they're splitting scrims, it's not going to help things. So JDG loses series, but at the same time, part of me didn't want to even drop them this far, but I felt like I kind of had to, based on the last 2 weeks. But JDG could be above, the next few teams just the same because they had a bad day. They're, like I said, spread thin. 6th, HLE went 3-1. They're going to be the gatekeepers when it comes to being elite or not. Beat Fearx, DRX, Bro, lost to gen.g. If HLE, if you struggle, if you're not playing your best against HLE, they have players that are going to beat you. They're going to hand stiff you, they're going to punish you, they're going to beat you. But if you are better than them, like gen.g, you'll win. Or if you don't make a mistake like a team like gen.g, you'll win. If you're a team like JDG or D+, I think you could beat HLE if you don't make mistakes. But you will get punished if you do, because HLE play still that slow style of play that is just like, hey, we're going to wait till 35 minutes and then beat you then. And it's like, oh, I hate it so much that I really don't want to give them much credit at all. Fifth, Top Esports. So top move up 2 spots. Beat IG, OMG, Ultra Prime, LGD. So 2 decent teams they beat, and then 2 teams they should smoke. Now, to segue just real fast, fourth is FPX, moving up 14 spots. So, originally, I actually had this top HLE, JDG, FPX. FPX, however, in the last 2 weeks, beat NIP, Weibo, JDG, all 3 in a row, then lost to BLG. And beat top before that. So they beat what I would consider to be like the 4 elite teams on paper. Maybe you throw LNG in there. In a like 4 or 5 in a row. And they had to play all 5 in a row. Like FPX played a gauntlet and went 4-1. They have to be up there. And it's tough because for me, because like Jalahu and Kerr are finally getting it done. Like, I know Milky Way's hard carrying, but Jalahu and Kerr are not inting their face off to the point where this team's losing against good players. Like, they're beating good players. Now, are those teams playing clean? No, they're down here. But you look at them. Think about it. Like, Light and Crisp into Duck Dom Life. Duck Dom was not even in the LCK last year for the whole season. I know he got hurt, and hell, he couldn't get his job back. Life was laughed out of the LCK. Probably shouldn't have been because, people want to, because he's on that HLE roster and he's a scapegoat. But same time, he lost a spot in Korea and went to PX. Shoot. And like rookie into Care. Rookie should win. No, FPX wins. Man, it's incredible. It's honestly incredible. They're fourth. I don't know when the wheels fall off. I don't know if they don't fall off at all. They're a young team, and Duck Diamond Life, experienced bot duo. Shoot, just it's something. Third, T1 dropping 1 spot. So they lost to gen.g, but beat FearX, Bro, KDF. So T1 still an elite team, can beat anybody any day, but lost to gen.g, and gen.g went undefeated, so they are second, and they're above T1 as a result. So gen.g beat KDF, KT, T1, HLE. So they beat 4 of the top 5. DK being the only one they didn't play. So that shouldn't surprise anybody. Gen.g, T1. We're like I keep saying, this here is a group of teams that I can't believe I'm saying it. FPX, I guess, are in that group. Usually this column is reserved for people that I'm like, maybe they could win it all, right? FPX are kind of like an asterisk, but at the same time, everybody else, depending on the meta at Worlds, they can win, which is why T1 won last year. It's why, DRX wasn't on this board in 2022. But first, BLG. Best roster. Elk, Knight, Bin, 3 players that Elk and Bin I really enjoy. Shun is performing outstanding, continues to do so. Beat Thunder Talk, LGD, Team We, FPX, and somebody else. I wrote Team We twice on the board. So they went 5-0, I believe. So BLG continue to, like I said, an elite team, elite roster, dominating opponents, really hard to play against, really, really hard to play against. And most teams are going to struggle into them. I'm just trying to look on my board here, see. Yeah, they didn't play one of these teams. They played somebody else in that other game. So, no big shockers against, I guess, FPX moving up 14 spots on my board. But thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.